Hey guys, I'm Greg.
I'm Brent.
And we are with Renovating. We're out at our project on Gulfview Drive in Buckhead, and we are wrapping up. The house is now completed, it's on the market, and we're excited to show you all the things that we did in it, and we did a ton. So if you're thinking about doing all this work yourself or maybe selling your house as is, this would have been one I would have said, you did a good job by selling it to us as is, because we did a bunch of work here. So let's go on and take a look inside. Okay, but before we go on in, let's talk about all the things we did on the outside of the house, right? So why don't you give us an overview, Brent?
So the carport is now a master suite. So of course that was done. New driveway, all new landscaping, new sod, new plants, and then a whole fresh paint on the outside of the house.
Right. So everything clean, perfect. Let's go on inside. All right. So now we're on the inside of the home and we're standing in the family room. Just came through the vestibule. As you can kind of see, we've kept the character and the design of the original home the same, but we've brought it up to 2022. So what do we do here? We did floors, right? Refinished the floors.
Yes.
We refinished the fireplace surround with Calicatta. And that Calicatta, as you'll notice, works all the way through the house. It's in the kitchen and it's also in the master suite.
Yes.
All right, why don't you take us into the rest of the house, Brent?
Well, we'll go this way first. So this is the, I guess, bedroom number one. I mean, in here, it's just fresh paint all throughout, and then of course refinishing the floors in here. A new light fixture. We kept the original doorknobs for the house, so we didn't change those out. We thought that they, tied in good with the house. In this hallway, this was a cabinet with doors. We just made it an open bookshelf.
Yeah, it made it a lot more functional. The cabinet doors really not helpful.
No.
And then we have the vestibule in between the two bedrooms. The second or smaller of the two bedrooms here also kept it pretty much the same, but just came in and cleaned it up. And if you can remember how the floors were, because the
floors were painted white. Again, refinished the floors, kept the original cabinets, just put a fresh coat of paint on them.
And really also, what you don't notice too, is we spent a tremendous amount of time on the woodwork. The woodwork had been from the 1930s, 1940s. It had been painted over, and it was just really sloppy and unattractive. And we spent a lot of time and energy and money making this look nice and clean, but with also preserving the character and the original wood in the home.
Yes. Well, and we had to fight the pet odor from the dogs that were here before.
Yeah, if you can remember, and I don't know if we have any reference points, but we had pet odor throughout the house, all the way through the hardwood floors and underneath.
So they were able to sand that out, and that smell's gone. So
yep.
One thing I did forget to mention, we were outside, we did do all new windows in the house. So those are all have been replaced.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of windows in here.
Yes.
That alone was several $1,000s. All right, well, what we also did in the bathroom was we try to keep the bathroom essentially the way that it was, because it's kind of a thing here in Collier Hills, but we did add a few features just to make it a little bit more current. So kind of created a place where there was some more storage and a mirror that fit better, and updated the lighting fixtures and plumbing fixtures in here. But otherwise, we've kept it as original, which I think is fantastic. Brent, let's talk about the kitchen. Why don't you take us through there?
All right, so the kitchen was a little more, we actually replaced all the cabinet doors with the shaker style doors. Behind you, when you turn around, you'll see that was, they were open cabinets, except for on the left and right, there were big doors. So we actually completely just took all that off and redid the cabinets, painted them white. I think they were like a baby blue when we bought the house.
Right. Just create more storage because it's a small galley style kitchen, and one of the things that you don't have a lot of is storage, right? So this acts as a very large pantry and storage cupboards, which is great.
Yes.
You know, I love
brand new countertops,
yep,
the Calcata.
love those, and new appliances. Well,
the only new appliance is the stove. Everything else was here when we bought the house, but it all is in good shape.
Right.
So we didn't do anything there. You know, repainted stuff in here. We changed out light fixtures. These are new. We changed out the French doors on the house, so they're actually new to the house. But all in all, that's
yeah, and we decided to keep the
floors.
floors the way they were, even though they're not the 2-inch red oak hardwood throughout the rest of the home. They really give it a different vibe in here, and I think because of the color differential, it makes the house and the kitchen much brighter, which is what we wanted, a bit of a contrast in here. So we decided to keep those. I think it was a good idea.
Yes, yeah,
So-
I do too. We actually kept those shelves too. You'll see those were original. We
Yeah.
just thought it looked, you know, a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of people are
functional.
doing the open shelf concept in kitchens, so we actually left those.
Right.
Didn't do too much in the laundry room except for paint the doors
Yeah.
and make them more fun. They didn't open correctly, so we had to add a few more things.
Yeah, and one of the things with smaller houses is that, you know, these were kind of afterthoughts in the 1930s and 40s. And so this room to provide washer and dryer access is about as tight as it can get, but I think we made the most of what we had with the options. Let's go on through and let's see the biggest part of where we spent our money was in the addition.
Yes.
So why don't you take us through there and show us what we've done. And this house was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. Very
Yes.
unfunctional in 2022 and beyond. So one of the biggest things that we decided we wanted to do was to make it a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. But we wanted to do it without having to extend the back of the house or go upstairs. So we converted the carport into the master suite.
Yes.
So
So this is the doorway that actually led to the carport. Now it is the master suite. So in here, I mean, everything's brand new. You know, there's so
nothing old, right?
Nothing old. This is all new to the house, except for the roof. Well, we did use the existing roof structure. We just put in walls and had to build the floors up for the crawl space underneath. And then, you know, master closet.
And let's talk about the closet, because again, one of the things that we really wanted to do was to create a space that you don't find in Buckhead. And so to be able to walk into a master closet of that size is really not something you find in homes out here that we're competing with.
No.
So this room in and of itself, I think really adds a tremendous value to the home. And it was quite expensive. So if you have a functionally obsolete home, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and you want to expand it, bear in mind that to do something like what we've done is going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars and many months of time and permits and all the rest of the stuff that you need to do in order to add that value. So sometimes it's better just to sell it to someone like us and let us do the work instead of you try to do it on your own.
Yeah.
So the master bath, Brent, this really came out fantastic.
It really did. And again, it's not something that most houses in this area do not have a bath this size. So
Right.
it's, you know, double vanity. Over here is a standalone tub. So it's not a, you know, tub shower combo like you'll find. And then we actually have to my left here is the water closet.
Right? And it's
And
big,
it's actually
right?
a
I mean,
very
it's not, you're not-
spacious water closet.
it's not a water room, not a
Yes.
water closet. Right?
And then right here, the shower is actually pretty spacious as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
That's what we're excited about is that to be able to come
it's
into
just-
a neighborhood like this where a lot of the homes have been just sort of fixed and
Yes.
you still have to deal with the small spaces and the legacy items in here, we were able to come in and create a whole brand new part of this home and bring it to 2022. So all of the tile and all of the size that you're comfortable with in newer homes, but you don't get in a place like Buckhead, we were able to provide. So this is a fantastic room, and I think it came out great.
and one thing that was pointed out to me by actually one of the neighbors was actually the fact that it also has its own closet A lot of master baths don't even have that
Right.
in this area. So
You need places to put your towels and your
You're not
stuff.
having to shove everything under the cabinets or. So we can go out to the backyard.
Yeah, let's. We have the she shed,
The she
and we
shed.
want to kind of go through what we did on the back of the house because we did a lot of work out there too. Some of the stuff
We
you
did.
don't notice, but there's a lot of stuff that we did. And Brent, tell us about also the challenges that we had. So we had trees that were causing foundation problems.
Yes, that we had to. Yeah, we had a tree we had to take out. That was fun, having to convince the city to let us take it out. We actually had to dig down and prove that the roots were damaging the foundation, or they weren't going to let us take it out, because it was in the city setback. So in the city of Atlanta, if a tree is in a setback, that's their tree, and they don't let you cut it down. So we had to prove to them why we were taking it down. So that's on the side of the house. One other thing we had to do towards the end that was we actually had to replace the HVAC to the main house. We weren't expecting that. It was functioning fine and then just went out.
Right.
So that was.
So again, if you're thinking about trying to do all this on your own, and you plan for every eventuality, some things you can't plan for, and we couldn't plan for the air to go out right when we were ready to list it. So
No.
those things happen. All right, let's take a look outside.
All right. So mainly out here, didn't really do much to the deck.
Yeah, the deck was here.
The deck was
and,
here.
It's attractive, so it works. But we did spend a ton of time and money on the she shed.
Yes.
And we did, even though the yard has grown up a little bit because it's late July and you can't keep that down,
No.
we did spend a lot of time in the backyard. So let's walk us through and kind of show you what we did.
All right, so in the backyard, I mean, as you can see, the back of the new master, of course, it has its own HVAC system. All of this was pretty nasty, so we've mulched it, refreshed the slate chips because they were kind of falling, they were old. They'd been here for years. Now, the big so this door wasn't even here when we bought this. I don't even think there was a door on the she shed. So we left the she shed for the most part in its original condition. We had to replace or put the beams back up. They were taken out for some reason.
Yeah, we had a broken window.
And then there was a doorway here that we actually sealed up because
there's a big tree right under front of it, right?
Yeah, there's a big camellia tree so it wasn't functional. So we sealed up that door, and we actually had to replace this door because it was shattered. So
yeah, I mean, sometimes like a lawn guy came in and broke the window, and that was outside of our budget, but it happens. And so what we've got here now is a room with power, and that someone could use as a workout studio, as a home office, or just for storage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the things about homes in this community where there really isn't a lot of storage. So having something like this, or having an extra room, you could even turn it into a guest suite, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just simple work. So that's about the extent of it, other than let's show them where we had to deal with the crawl space.
All right. So cool thing about this house, we didn't plant them, but there's blackberry bushes and blueberry bushes that were left by the previous owner. So
yeah, and they're awesome too.
Those have been fun to harvest while we've been doing the job.
The yard goes way back. You can almost see ivy grown up over this arbor, and the property goes even beyond that. So it's a fantastic lot for for kids. If you ever wanted to put a pool or some other kind of feature out here, you don't have this kind of lot in a lot of places around here.
No. Now we did over here. We did sod this area. It was just dirt. Refreshed this with mulch.
Yep.
Planted some plants. Now, one thing we did have to do, so I told y'all we had to replace the HVAC system out here. Well, the system that was here was a big green box that was a HVAC, like it was the furnace. It was everything in one, which are older. And so it was actually, I'll show, the box was sitting here, but then the unit was also under the crawl space. So it went into the side of the house. So when we had replaced it with a newer system, we actually had to seal up, and you can, it was a good job
Fairly big
done,
hole,
but
yeah.
you can still see the new brick. But we had to seal up that hole. So that was, something, again, we weren't expecting we had to do.
Right. And we
So-
also had to waterproof the crawl space down here.
Yes.
And then there's another crawl space, and that crawl space is the one where we had to come in and demonstrate that we had a tree that was right here.
Yes.
And that we had to get rid of in order for us to be able to make sure it wasn't going to damage the foundation. And it was hanging over the house. So we took that tree out.
And the tree was in the way of us putting in this gate, because this gate was not here. There was no
Right.
access to the backyard except for the carport. So since we took away that access and we closed in to make the master suite, we then had to make access. So this is new to the house
Yeah,
as well.
so if you need to cut the grass, you bring your lawnmower front to back, or you come from the backyard to the front yard this way. So let's do it. All right, so been inside and out, and hopefully now everyone's been able to see all of the stuff that we've done. Again, remember that we spent a lot of time and a lot of money in here trying to get this house fixed because it was not in sellable condition, anyone other than us, when we bought it.
Yeah.
But we're very proud of it, how it came out. Did take a little longer than we'd expected. Did
Yes.
cost a lot more than we had expected.
Yes.
But that's the sign of the times. What we love about this house is we can see the golf course from here and the belt line. It's in Buckhead. It's right near Piedmont Hospital. There's so many really beneficial things about this house, and we feel like we're going to do real well and sell it really quickly.
Yeah.
So if you have a house that you're thinking about either fixing up or maybe wanting to sell as is, anywhere in Metro Atlanta, give us a call or click on the link below, and we'll come out. We'll make you a no obligation, free offer as is, so that you can kind of consider, should I fix it or should I sell it as is? And there's no harm to you, and that way you have an option. You can decide what makes the most sense for you. Fix it or sell it as is to a group like Residium.
Yep.
So for Residium, I'm Greg,
I'm Brent.
and we're out.